everybody. I'm John.
And I'm Joe. We're from Hot and Cold, and this is the review for Crimson Peak, directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Starring Mia Wasikowska, Tom Hiddleston, Jessica Chastain, and Charlie Hunnam. Alright, short and sweet, give me the synopsis.
Alright, Crimson Peak is about a girl named Edith who meets a man named Thomas in New York on a business meeting. They fall in love and get married, and soon after, she follows him back to England, where his mansion, known as Crimson Peak, is with his estranged sister. It's not only until living there for a few days that she realizes that something is very, very wrong.
Very dramatic.
Very dramatic.
No, I'm saying the way you said that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I tried.
Well, it's kind of an insult.
Alright, John, so tell me, what do you think of the story?
There were parts that were very boring. I thought it was kind of slow. And there was a lot of things that were pretty obvious. I wasn't really...
Cliche?
It was kind of cliche. Not only that, but at the same time, when you go into a story and see something like that portrayed differently in the trailer than what it really was, it makes it look like a horror story or something along those lines, a suspense thriller, something like that, when really it was, this dark love story. So...
The only suspense,
very misleading.
The only suspense in it takes place in the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and you can't... I know there are movies that do the slow burn, but you can't justify an entire 2-hour movie with only 15 minutes at the end of the movie and a 30-second clip after the first 20 minutes. I'm sorry, that just... for me, I didn't really care for it. I almost fell asleep a couple times in the theater watching it. So, I give it a room temperature grade.
Ooh. For all you people that don't understand yet, we have a new rating system, which will go from burning, which is the best thing, sweltering hot, to hot, which is good, room temperature, which is not horrible, but just okay, cold, which is bad, and then freezing, which is complete and utter dog shit.
Yeah, terrible.
So
fucking awful. Alright. Now, what did you think of the story? And keep it short.
Okay. Shut your fucking mouth. Aside from the fact that the trailer did provide us the false, information of what this movie was going to be about, I liked it. I mean, I didn't find myself falling asleep. I was fully interested in finding out what was going on with Tom Hiddleston's character and his sister. They were very creepy together, and you knew that they were planning something, but you don't know what. It's about the journey to figuring out what it is, and I didn't mind that. I liked the brutality. It's a very violent movie. A lot of deaths happen, and...
Not really.
My thing. But when they do happen, they hit hard.
Okay, yeah, but...
This was more of like a detective movie with ghosts. I didn't mind it, though. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it had a lot of character development. I really was invested in Tom Hiddleston's character.
We'll get into all that.
It wasn't bad. I'm going to give it, I'm going to give it a hot.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy... But I feel like those scenes that dragged, they did do that slow burn. I just feel that it's not going to work for everybody, but it'll work for some people. Like, I walked out hearing other people saying that they loved the movie, and I also walked out hearing people saying they hated it.
I didn't hear anybody say that.
There was
not only that,
two people walking in front of me that said they liked it, and they were talking about how they thought it was fantastic.
Well,
it's really...
They probably fucking don't see too many movies.
It's not going to be for everybody. John's just very thick-headed.
They make this whole big thing in the trailers about the ghosts.
There's about 10 minutes of ghosts in it.
Like, if they took all the ghosts out of that entire movie, which there really wasn't that many, it would have no bearing on the outcome of this movie.
It would be the same exact
So
movie.
why broadcast it in a trailer like that? And on top of that, the whole, circling in and out from black, the way the director did it. I mean, listen, I love Guillermo del Toro, but that was almost bothering me.
I didn't mind that.
I thought it was stupid. I mean, the guy's made some pretty great films. To me,
they're all visually stunning. His films are beautiful.
Yeah, cinematography,
the use of colors are...
Cinematography was great.
It's
like
always, they got
but...
painters and artists to help him make this movie. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
As for the ghosts, I mean, they didn't need to be there, but I didn't mind them being there. It was just another little treat on the side. That's how I pictured it. I once I got the idea that this isn't a ghost story, it's not really about ghosts. Although it was a little, why are there still ghosts? I didn't mind it. I didn't...
Exactly, but that's the
point.
Me. There's no reason for them to be there. They're not really doing anything.
They were there to... I can't say it. There is a small reason for them being there that you have to watch the movie to find out. but it's just
But
not.
you could easily take them out. And
he could have found another way.
It wouldn't affect anything.
He could have found another way without ghosts to get the point across that the ghosts are trying to get across. But he chose to use ghosts, and that's just who Guillermo del Toro is. He has to be weird.
All right. So you said hot.
I'm gonna say hot.
Okay, whatever. All right. What did you think about the actors and actresses?
Mia Wasikowska plays Edith, the main lead, and she was the one character that I thought was the weakest out of the three. She doesn't really ever have a arc. She kind of starts off the same way as she ends. There's no development with her other than she's just this person that gets married, goes to England to live with this man, is terrified, and still ends the film terrified.
Yeah, nothing changed. They didn't do much of anything with her. At some points, she was almost overacting, like when she's seeing her father on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost too much sometimes.
She was corny. A lot of her dialogue was corny. She acted fine, but some of the dialogue they made her say, like there's a scene where her father's on the table, and she starts, like, kind of losing it, and she's like, he's so cold. Like, well, yeah, obviously, because he's dead. And she's like, he was such a respectful man. That's why he used to dress like this. And she's just saying these things that are so, like, unfitting for the scene. Like,
yeah, useless.
Like, when she's showing fear and stuff, I thought it was okay. I just think she's the weakest of the
She had some good points. She had some bad points.
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston, though. Tom Hiddleston.
He's impressive.
He was, charismatic, like always.
Always.
The guy is...
He's always, like, as Loki, as Thomas in this. He's just very charming no matter who he is. And he's a force to be reckoned with when he's on the screen.
Yeah,
he could act.
He definitely can. And in this one, he was like... He was the best character in this one. Easily. He had the most to offer.
He had the best arc.
Yeah.
He started as one person that you were kind of iffy about, and then he has this arc that brings some sort of humanity to him, and I enjoyed unfolding the layers of him and finding out what his backstory was.
It's probably easy for him to play a guy named Thomas, too.
Considering his name is Thomas.
Jessica Chastain played Lucille.
Ooh.
And she was a weirdo.
But she can act. She is... Every role that girl gets...
There was some moments for me, though, she was like... I don't know. Some moments just seemed like it was too forced. There was a lot of moments in this, actually, that seemed a little overacted and too forced for a lot of these
I
characters.
think everyone did perfectly except for, Mia. I thought Jessica Chastain did great. She played this perfect, creepy, just... something's wrong with her just by the way she moves and the way she looks at you and the things she says and her quick, like, snaps at you. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I thought she killed it.
At the same time, though, she, she had, one-liners for a majority of the movie, only until towards the end. It was mostly, quick little, 5 to 10 word sentences, walk out with a teapot or something. It was, maybe they could have done a little more with her to make her character a little more out there.
See, I saw it a lot like, how we talked about Benicio del Toro and Tom Hardy and Ryan Gosling. Like, although she may not have said much, she had very good facial expressions. She didn't have to say much to get the point across to me that something's wrong with this girl.
Yeah.
I didn't think she was that bad. What about Charlie Hunnam?
Charlie Hunnam was... I thought I can't picture him playing... that average, normal, just regular guy character after watching Sons of Anarchy.
I'm waiting for him to make a deal and start shooting some people.
So those are the things that I
he
envisioned him in. He played the part.
He played the part well.
I think his character was completely underutilized. They could have done so much more with him.
It was. He really serves as the person... He is the second love interest to this girl.
But you don't even know if it's a love
interest.
But
that's how they set it up.
In the beginning, it maybe looks like that, but then towards the end of the movie, it's almost just like a friend. But they don't explain to you why he goes to all this effort to help her when, she clearly isn't has any interest in him at all.
Yeah.
So what's his purpose?
Well, his character pretty much, she gets, swept away to England, and for whatever reason he starts digging into who, this brother and sister are. He finds out something's wrong, and he pretty much goes to her rescue. I thought he did the role well. I just think he was a little underutilized, and if they're going to play him as the savior, to make him play the savior.
Well, a half savior. All right. I give it another room temperature grade.
I'm gonna give it a hot just because I loved every single person except for Mia. I thought that she was really not. She was the worst part of the movie, in my opinion.
All right, now what did you think of the score or lack thereof?
There really was no score. Most of the music was just eerie piano tones, which is okay for certain scenes, but to play throughout the whole movie, I feel the epic scenes for it are only as good as the score behind it. You know, you watch things like Psycho, and when he opens the curtain and he holds the knife up, it's playing that like creepy screech music, or Jason
these are iconic
as good
things that they're known for.
Movies are only as good as their score, and if you don't have a good score, it's going to detract from the movie, and that's kind of what it did for me. So I'm going to give it a cold because it wasn't really anything except just piano tones.
For me, I couldn't even really tell that there was even music besides like the points that they emphasize it when Jessica Chastain is playing the piano.
Yeah.
So I paid no attention to the music at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty much non-existent for me. I'm going to be generous and give it a cold because it wasn't something that totally detracted me, because there were certain points where I was just so less interested in the story that the subtle piano tones kind of uplifted me, I guess. So, cold, my grade.
All right. Well, what did you think of the movie?
Overall, the characters were, they were what they were. Tom Hiddleston was great. The rest of them were kind of not as good or underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
The score wasn't existent at all, so that really served no purpose in this entire movie. And the storyline to me was kind of boring, and the trailer was misleading. I didn't really care for the movie at all. It wasn't a terrible movie, but it's something that I could see once and not have to see again. So my overall grade is a 2.5.
So you're definitely the cold in this review.
Yeah, I'm totally cold on this movie.
As for me, I liked it a little bit more. I thought the acting was great, except for the central lead by Mia. The score wasn't really there, but the story was interesting enough to keep me roped in, so I'm definitely the hot in this, so hot and cold. Overall, I gave this movie a 3.5, and together that gives it, by the both of us, a room temperature movie. I wouldn't buy this on DVD, but I would recommend going to see it in the theater with a girlfriend, or it's a good date movie, because
it's something for me. I could have not seen it and been fine with it. And not have to worry about that.
I recommend seeing it. It's okay. It's an okay movie. It's nothing you're gonna run out screaming that was incredible. I wouldn't buy it.
Mediocre.
I wouldn't see it twice. But it's okay. It's room temperature.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. I'm Joe.
I'm John.
And we're from Hot and Cold.
So.